Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today going to be taking a look at WRC8, a rally game. Well, this one that has the actual license for the World Rally Championships, follows the Rally Championship, which means we get plenty of locations to choose from. Now, I'm going to try and not just do it. It's very easy with this and Dirt Rally 2 being, well, kind of quite big competitors. It's kind of very straightforward just to compare it straight up to the... I'm going to try and more focus on this game individually. There will be some comparisons, of course. It's unavoidable when you have such an obvious rival and everything. But, yeah, I'm going to kind of just talk about this game on its own merits and its own issues and so on, as much as I can anyway. Starting off with the rally selection. There are plenty of locations because, well, it follows the actual championship from Monte Carlo, Sweden, there's Corsica in there, Argentina, one of my favourite rallies with some really nasty stages, very, very nasty stages, interesting special stages as well, which I like to see the special stages as a thing. You kind of get some of the racetrack ones, you get some that are, that's kind of like a almost full-on stadium truck style circuit. What does Finland have, do we reckon? Like has a little narrow wobbly stage through a buildings, perhaps? I don't know. So, yeah, we've got plenty of rallies. Now, actual events in the rallies, there are 3, plus the reverse version of that along with the special stage. They are very long stages, although I think the long stages are a combination of these 2, just judging by the pictures, I think. Ish. Anyway, some similar corners. They are very, very long stages. You know, we're talking 10 kilometres. In fact, yeah, they got to be because it's 10 and 7, pretty much. There is plenty of road, yes, and there is full-on dynamic weather as well. So you can have stages that start in the rain and get dry towards the end, or vice versa, or random weather. And you're doing the career mode, you'll have to deal with weather and so on, as tyre selection and the like will play a part as well. While there are plenty of locations, I would perhaps prefer a few more stages in each place rather than one. Essentially, one 20-mile, 20-kilometre, let's say roughly, stretch of road broken down into a couple of stages and run in reverse. They are still good fun. The ones I've driven around so far, done a fair few of these now, they are very good fun to drive about, but perhaps a little more wouldn't go amiss. And likewise, oops, if we go back into here and go similarly, if we go cars, we're going to select one of these to go through. Of course, being a licensed game, it follows championship, you're going to have that championship's cars. So you've got all the WRC cars, you've got the Yaris size, whichever one. You've got the Hyundai, the Fiesta, the Citroen, and the like. WRC2, you've got the slightly slower, but still pretty bloody fast vehicles. Citroens, Fords, Hyundai is in here, along with the Skodas, and I think Volkswagen in the last group in this. So yeah, you've got a good selection of the WRC2 cars. You've got the junior kind of entry-level vehicles when you're driving the Fiestas, and there are some bonus historic cars, but I do mean some. There's a full Via Stratos, which are interesting rally cars, don't get me wrong. The Stratos is the only rear-wheel drive rally car in this game, and then you have a Polo that I guess is a couple of years out of date, and a Proton that also I guess might be a couple of years out. It seems like that's quite close to the R5 cars that they've got going. It's same power and same weight, but either way, I mean, it's not the biggest, most expansive car list I've ever seen in a rally game, certainly. Yes, you know, it's licensed, it's going to be following the actual WRC Championship, their cars, etc. But it might be nice to have a few more extra bonus cars. I mean, there's no Group B cars. As I said, the Stratos is the only rear-wheel drive car at all in this. So, yeah, I mean, good number of countries. Could do with, well, I would like a little bit more variety in the stages, similar with story with cars. Now, the career mode is where things get interesting, and I very much like the way that this is done, the career mode. It can be a little bit slow loading to get into the actual career mode bit. Once it's started, it's not too bad. I am playing this on the Xbox One X, I should point out. So, yeah, career mode is very, very detailed in this. The career mode is very detailed in kind of different ways, and I like to see it. It's a different kind, a slightly different sort of challenge other than straight up here's a rally stage, go do that. So this is our little garage. I'm currently driving for the Citroen team in WRC2 category. I started off with a Hyundai. I did an event and got myself a contract with Citroen, which we have gone for. So the way this works is you have a calendar. And now you can select what you do at each of these stages. So a rest day rests your crew. We'll come on to those into a minute. Maintenance, I think, can help improve your car. So if you look down at the very bottom right-hand corner, there's a little car picture with a life bar. I think the more events you run, the more that goes down, and then you have to kind of do maintenance, which is basically just run through a stage that will gradually fix that back up. So we're going to do a training day before we go to Monte Carlo. Now, there are all sorts of different events that will come up here. I was hoping there'd be more exciting ones than just that, but you can get plenty of special events in between each of the rallies. So you can get extreme conditions events, which are basically you're given a broken car one way or another on a horribly stormy day, and you've got to try and drive as far as you can. And then we historic races using one of the 4 historic cars. There was a couple other ones that have now just slipped my mind, but yeah, you get these like in-between things. I think you can skip them if you want to. R&D, so as you go through, as you level up, you will get research points that can go into various areas. Now, this is based to your team, not to you as a driver. So when you swap teams, when you go up if I went up to WRC, if I end up going, wherever you end up going, or say to a different team in WRC2, for example, they will have their own research points. Yours will not carry over. So I've gone to Citroen, who have got some bits that I didn't have before, but don't have other bits. You know, you've got teams, upgrades your kind of crew members, you've got performance, makes your car better, also unlocks sort of tyres, various options for tyres, so you get better wet tyres, you get better, I don't know, gravel tyres and so on, but also unlocks things like actual proper wet weather tyres and so on and so forth. You get better aero, you get better turbos, and all of that, as you would expect from performance upgrades. Reliability makes your car, well, funnily enough, last longer, survive more hits, and then you get your crew members. Now, your mechanics, you can get your mechanics to work better during rallies, and you can unlock new crew members, which if we go down here, you have this. Again, I told you, there's a lot of detail in here. You've got mechanics that fix up your car. Agent, I think, gets you into better events. Meteorologist works better at weather predicting. Better they are, the better, the closer they'll get to your to the actual weather you're going to have on stages. Physical therapist helps your crew members recover from fatigue quicker, basically. Financial director gets you more money per events. Engineer, I think, gets everyone more XP as they go through. There's a whole load of management side of things. You'll get your emails. What the objectives actually, I don't know. Do not spend more than $10,000 on repairs in the next rally. I hope not, because I only got 21 grand. Perform at least 3 training events in 6 weeks. I guess that's what we're going to have to do to keep Citroen happy. Apparently going to statistics has crashed. Well, one slight game crash later, I will say that is the first time I've had the game do anything kind of untoward while playing it, but there we go. Apparently I did too many things. Shall we go driving? We're going to go to the next event, which is just one of the trading things. Now, these get you a little bit of money, get your crew a little bit of XP. Generally, so far, have been fairly simple. It's just here's a short circuit, have a drive around it. There are all sorts of different training stages I've come across. This is actually looks like the more... Oh, yeah, definitely. This one here, the more technical of the training stage. It's basically just a hot lap until you get the reward tier you want. In this case, well, we would be hoping to be able to get the gold reward tier. Now, I have got the difficulty set wrong on this career mode. I'd set it to medium when I started because I wasn't really sure what the AI were going to be like on this game, so I just thought we'll start off there and we'll change it as we go along. Problem with the game is that you cannot, as far as I can tell, as far as I can find, change the difficulty of the career once started. We did it, just could have gone faster, don't need to bother with it. So yeah, I now can't go and change the difficulty to put it to what would be a more suitable one. As far as I'm aware, unless I'm doing something wrong, the only way to change it is to restart, which is a bit stupid, quite frankly. Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame because I've got I've got a little bit through it. I don't want to go and have to restart. I don't want to have to go and start again, going through everything. I am right. I'm gonna unlock the engineer so we can use an engineer so we can get More XP for everybody. Engineer, go in there. Right, we can recruit. Bloody hell, we can recruit. I don't even know what I'm looking at most of the time there. We're just going to go. Calendar, is it rally time? Yes, it is. Oh, what is the next event? What have we got down here? A historic race or a maintenance one? So our car condition went down a couple because we did an event. Not that we're going to get to that in today's video, so we'll just go to the rally. Yeah, the difficulty thing is stupid. Very, very irritating, but there we go. Now, the main event, the main part of this, of course, is the rallies themselves. So here we go. We've started up for this. Tyres. So we get to choose what we want to run. We can run soft tyres, which give you more grip, but wear out faster. You can go for the hard tyres, give you less grip, but will stay alive for longer. We can use wet tyres if it's going to be raining. Snow and ice tyres for Monte Carlo because there might be some snow. I don't actually know what we're coming up against. I'm going to have to rely on the game. It's 100% asphalt. I'm hoping it's 100% not icy, really. There is small chances of... There's a 20... Oh, that's humidity, sorry, not rain chances. It's going to be cloudy, basically. It reckons soft tyres are the ones to go for. Let's have a try. I have not driven Monte Carlo yet. The fact that the game is set a bit too easy for me is probably going to work in my favour, because I'm inevitably going to goof it up somewhere around here. Monte Carlo is always a tough rally. Mistakes are easy to make here. There are walls alongside. I'm hoping I don't dump my way out of this one in particular. Yeah, it doesn't look like there is too much snow around the place. So let's go and see what happens in all of this. Let's go to handling physics, as we're going to be talking about a lot of the extra little bits and pieces and not really talk too much about the way the cars drive. It's unfortunately not as good as... Oh, that's a really tight hairpin. Oh, that's buried me. Amazingly didn't fall off. Rally games are always difficult to commentate over and try and concentrate on the actual stage. Anyway, handling physics. Yes, it's not as good as Dirt Rally. I'm just going to say that now. It is not as good as Dirt Rally 2. It is still pretty decent to drive on. I will say it's almost quite... Everything feels quite twitchy. Now, I'm driving on a controller. I don't know what it would be like on a wheel. Maybe with a lot of faffing around with some controller setups, you could get it slightly less twitchy. But yeah, everything does feel quite twitchy. There are times when you will get the car into a big tank slapper without really intending on, and have to really work to get it back under control again. You can see the steering wheel kind of twitching about as you... I drive in a kind of lightly flick the stick direction rather than the sort of partially hold it sideways. I don't have the finesse or patience to do that, so it's just a driving style with a controller that fair few people will use. And you can see the steering wheel does freak out a little bit with me driving like that. It's perfectly drivable. Don't get me wrong here. It is perfectly drivable. It's not a bad vehicle to drive. There's just a couple of bits where you will get a little bit. It might get you in a little bit of trouble. I've got more used to the game, and the more I play on it, the more I'm going to get used to it, the better I'm going to be driving with it, of course. And I have got the hang of it a little bit more, what you can and can't get away with as we go along. But yeah, it will probably be a little bit of a learning experience. Now, your actual vehicle condition is also going to be playing a big impact on all this. You can see on the little damage indicator we've got at the bottom left, and that's showing your tyre wear, and that is something to be very aware of. Oh, is it started snowing? It has. Okay. I don't know how quickly this is now going to make my dry weather tyres have a bad time. Oh, that's a much more space there than I was expecting there to be for a hairpin. I don't know yet how wet this stage is going to get. So I think the higher level meteorologist you get, the better you can tell, because mine was only telling me the first part. So I think the better level they are, the more points you spend down that R&D tree, the better they are at telling you what the weather's going to be like. So for example, in this, you could go for, if it gets wet enough, which it may or may not, you could go for wet tyres knowing they're going to suck at the start but be good later on, or you can do what I've done here, be fast hopefully at the start, but we might be in trouble towards the end. Yeah, dynamic weather is always an interesting thing, and from my little experience of this so far, it's an interesting addition. It's something you've really got to, another thing you've really got to bear in mind. As I was saying before we got distracted by it, suddenly started raining. Car condition, yeah, will play a part. Tyre wear is something that is going to give you some grief. You've also got, oh, careful now, various accident damage can be done to the car. You hit the wall, you'll break your suspension, you'll break your brakes itself, engine can lose power. Brakes, you can have the car kind of pulling, I believe. Oh, my tyres are starting to not enjoy this anymore. I'm not particularly grippy here. When you do, if you do end up destroying the brakes on the car, they actually start making funny noises when you use them. But again, it's little details. Little details of this game are very, very good. Whoa, I've got no grip. It's just a skating ring out here for me at the moment. I don't think, well, I have, as I said, I have got the difficulty probably a bit too easy. If anybody has got on wet tyres, oh, they may well be going faster than me here. Yeah, engine, you'll lose power, that'll slow you down. Again, turbo, you'll just lose engine power once more. Steering, I haven't actually broken the steering. I presume your car will start pulling to the left or the right. The suspension, I have had one car, I broke the suspension and didn't have the time at the repair halt to fix it up properly, and that meant, like, I think one of the front corners of the car was like scraping on the floor, so it was almost constantly sparking away, which was an interesting little thing to have to try and deal with. We still got third. I'd be interested to know, I think if I go in here, does it tell us tyre choice? Okay, so someone did go on wet tyres. The fastest car was driven on soft, dry tyres. No one went for a hard tyre? No, all those guys are. So I suspect these guys down here, either it wasn't wet enough for their tyre choice, or it was completely pissing it down with rain and it was too late for them. Well, that was an interesting experience. That was an interesting experience for sure. We've got some work to do. I don't know whether it's going to still be raining for the next stage then. I hope not. Cloudy is the weather, so it's certainly going to start dry for me. We don't know what it's going to do. What it's going to do later on. Ooh, this looks like a fun... I say a nasty stage. I mean, as you would expect, rally stages, bloody tough. And I'm glad to see there was once... Oh no, I don't want nighttime. That's terrible. Now I'm not going to see a damn thing. There was once upon a time where rally games were notorious for giving you quite wide open stages just in general. These days, rally games have kind of got it so that, I mean, as you would expect, as you see from rally, stages are narrow. Yes, there are faster rallies. There are faster rallies, there are faster stages here and there. However, a lot of stuff can be very narrow, so there is little margin for error. Now, there is no rewind in this game. You can restart. In fact, when you set up the career mode, you can do this game. I think they call it perma rally, but it's basically an Ironman mode that you will get no restarts whatsoever. You physically can't restart an event. Whatever happens, happens, and that's it. Oh, I have got. I clonked that wall and really broke the car. This has gone really badly for me. It's good I will get to show you the... bloody hell. Get to show you the repair halt part. Monte Carlo's mean. Yeah, you can have it set to be perma rally, so you will never get a restart. You are limited to restarts, even if you don't do perma rally to 4. I'm going to choose not to. Yeah, my car is now... I have broken the steering. My car is pulling. It's not the worst I've ever driven for a car pulling. It is pulling a bit to the right. Brakes are slightly damaged, but we're going to have a really, really good latter section. I'm really surprised that did a whole host of damage for what was a fairly innocuous. Yeah, there's a little kind of grindy, screechy sound from the brakes. Oh, as we do. Oop. As we plough it off another wall. See, that is the sort of crash I'd expect to do damage. I guess I just clonked it at a nasty enough angle. As you saw, though, yeah, tyre punches are a thing that can happen permanent. Terminal damage to your car, yep, that will happen. I managed to wreck out of, I think it was Chile I crashed my Hyundai out of. I clipped a bank just a little bit wrong. And like, terminal damage isn't a combination of 7 crashes and that's it. One crash on a pristine car, if you hit at a slightly bad place, will do it. As you saw there, that was one clonk on a wall. And that will give your car some serious grief. And when you go to a repair halt, time management is an important thing. Bloody hell. This was not the stage to get a broken car on. I don't know. Are we going to have rain again? I need to fire my meteorologist, I think. We need a better one. Maybe we need to unlock the perks that let them actually see in a little bit into the thing. It's still currently... Oh, I don't know where I'm going. I've apparently crossed 200 puddles. What an achievement that one is. I didn't actually really notice the puddle that I went across, but there we go. Oh God, I don't need a broken car and wet. In fact, it's now kind of snowing. I should probably put the wipers on. So you have manual control of the wipers. They will not come on automatically, and even on like, I say on dry stages, on dusty stages, your windscreen is going to get covered in dust. You've got to remember to. It's one of these stupid things that I don't know whether I'm the only one that does this, but one of these stupid things, especially on the night stages, the dusty night stages, I am terrible for. I'll remember it for the first couple of times, and then the visibility will just get worse and worse, and I'll get to the point where I'm going, I just can't see a thing, and then remember, oh yeah, I can actually use the wipers and vaguely clean off the windscreen a little bit. This is not the stage I needed. Citroen are not going to be happy. They're only just... This is my first proper rally for them. We were winning everything with a Hyundai, and now we've gone into this, and it's all gone a little bit terribly wrong. I am driving from the first person perspective. I can't, well, I say I can't. I really don't like driving from third person at night in this game. It's kind of all your lights blocked by the back of your own car. So I kind of prefer doing these incredibly difficult night stages from first person. I generally like driving from first person when I can in games. Oh, this is a poorly Citroen. I don't think I'm even going to earn much money from it. I'm going to spend so much money repairing the car that even if I win somehow by some miracle, win the event. So yeah, this is ridiculously narrow. Oh, that's a tree. My engine's really poorly now. Christ. This is madness. Yeah, so if you like really fiddly rally stages, I mean, one of my favourite rally stages in games ever is in Dirt Rally 2, some of the Argentinian stages there. They are brutal. This has got even narrower stages than Dirt Rally. This has got, I mean, that is probably one of the nastiest sections I've come across so far. There was one, I can't actually remember what country it was in. There was one stage anyway where you were on a tarmac road that was basically the width of the car, and that was it, and then there were walls and trees and bits and pieces. I somehow set a fastest sector in all of that. My car doesn't sound healthy anymore. The sound's actually really cool on this. As I said, you've got your brakes get damaged, you'll hear them making funny noises. My car is now definitely sounding a lot less healthy than it did. When you're driving across gravel, you start sliding around, you hear the rocks hitting the bottom of the car and so on. This is appallingly bad to drive now. It's, I mean, my own fault. I ballsed up this one here all entirely on my own. We are not going to have a happy car by the time we go through the service halt. I'm in trouble. We're down in 11th. We are sat 7th overall. And then comes the interesting, the important time management part and so on. Yeah, this has been tougher. As I say, when I was driving the Hyundai, we won just about everything bar the one that I crashed out of. Maybe perhaps I've gone up slightly upper a category. Maybe it's put me against some slightly harder AI, which is nice. Even if oh wow, that's buggered everything. Okay, engine. So we have like a little percentage bar. You have up to 45 minutes any more than that, and you start accruing penalties. So to actually fix my engine is longer than I can use anyway. Let's get out to 60. Wow, I don't really have much. I'm going to have to kind of just go 60. Gearbox is... What you can, if you don't know what you want to do, you can just do... Wow, it says automatic is basically just focus on the engine anyway. You can just do automatic on things. So bits like the turbo engine you can repair percentage-wise. Things like suspension and brakes, you have to change the whole lot, which I actually don't think I have the time to do anyway. But basically, yeah, brakes and so on take a long time to fix up. I mean, turbo... I could take a 14-second penalty to try and fix up my turbo, but I don't know if that's worth it. No, wait, that's a 14-minute rather than second. I don't know. I'm going to try and not get a penalty, but you get the idea. Your headlights you can smash. I haven't actually smashed my headlights on a car yet, but that's very important when it gets to a night stage. So you get the idea. Time management is important. I mean, I had two kind of... Well, that was probably one of my worst stages, and it was really just two big shunts, a tree and a clonk on a thing, and my car is in all sorts of trouble. So, yeah, this is a tough and interesting career mode, if you like. My car's still smoking, which doesn't fill me with confidence. I'm gonna leave that there. Oh, it's also all night stages. Bloody hell. Yeah, we're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna have to fight that one off camera at some point. Conclusion-wise, to this game, conclusions. I'm enjoying it. I really like the level of detail the career mode has. I really like all of the little bits and pieces that you have to try and deal with. You've got your crew. I like the way the vehicle's damaged. I've set the damage. You can set it to a lot less damage. I've set mine to realistic, basically as high as it can go, and that is punishing. But it makes the career, it makes the rallies themselves that more rewarding, that more interesting as well. Driving wise, it is good enough. It's not the best I've driven, but it's also by no means the worst. It takes a little bit of getting used to perhaps, but it is still good to drive the vehicles. I'd like a few more stages, I'd like a few more cars, really. Longevity perhaps might be questionable. When you look at Rally 2, when you look at, you've got the Rallycross stuff, you've got a whole plethora of different cars, while this technically might have more countries, it isn't the greatest number of stages. Longevity would be the concern I have with this. However, what is there is very, very good fun. I haven't had a chance to play the multiplayer, don't know what the multiplayer will be like. Of course, as I'm playing this a little bit early, thank you very much to the devs for sending me a code to this one. Yeah, really, really interesting career mode. My sort of career mode, lots of sort of team management. Unfortunately, you can't create your own team. You can't sort of start from scratch with your own team. You are just driving for other teams. But, yeah, I would recommend this one. I'd say if you were expecting a straight-up rival to Dirt Rally, you might be a little disappointed. However, this has got there's plenty of fun to be had with this in slightly different ways, slightly different avenues of approach. As I said, really, really detailed career mode, some very fun stages. Especially, I love the special stages like this. That's my sort of stuff. Which is like a little bit more in terms of stages, a little bit more in terms of cars. Perhaps a little bit better driving cars as well. A little twitchy, a little floaty. Nothing completely awful at all. Do not get me wrong. Nothing entirely awful. But will take a little bit of getting used to. That though is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.